Okay, when you're bathroom remodeling and you come up with a plan and you think that you're going to be able to execute this efficiently and quickly, it always catches you by surprise, and you have to be basically expecting the unexpected. And that's one of the main reasons that I always express to people, if you're going to remodel your bathroom, if you're going to spend thousands of dollars on all the materials to do this, you want to take everything down to the studs and see what you're dealing with and modify things to work for your custom bathroom. The amount of effort that you're going to be trying to work with what's existing and modify to your new cabinet, to your new shower, you name it, it ends up being more problematic and more difficult. So in a smaller bathroom, you know, typically a 5x8 or a 4x9 like this bathroom, you know, you're only talking about 6 or 7 sheets worth of drywall. Now there is labor obviously involved with finishing it, but the time that you might be monkeying around with your existing stuff, that time is going to build up. So I want to share with you 5 contracting woes that I found in this bathroom, remodeling woes, I guess you could say, of, you know, when I tore out the drywall, there were some unexpected things that I was not expecting to be an issue when I first came look at this bathroom. Okay, so the first one was I wanted to remove the duct that was on the floor. I always hated baseboard floor registers in a bathroom, especially in a small one, because they're really easy to stub your toe and they're just not ideal. But I had no idea exactly what was going to be underneath of this because the floor or the ceiling underneath is finished. So, you know, it's something I wanted to do, but I wasn't 100% sure that I was going to be capable of doing it until I opened it up. So as you can see, I opened up the floor, and what I found was a 5-inch duct, and it actually worked out beautifully because I was able to just attach to this 5-inch duct, and I was able to a reducer coupling from 5-inch to 6-inch to bring up a wall register. Now, like I said, I had no idea exactly how the structure under here was going to work. A lot of times on your outside wall, they sometimes double up the rim joist. And if you have 2 rim joists, you're not going to want to be able, it wouldn't have worked. A 2x4 wall, there's not a lot of depth here. And if you came out 3 inches, I would not have been able to restructure that or cut into that joist. But in this instance, there was just 1 rim joist. I only had to cut out 2 inches of it to get this to work right. And again, I went from a 6-inch to an oval duct so that that's flush with this wall. And then we have a nice register now that's going to be 6x10. So that worked out great. But these are things that you just don't know until you open them up to see exactly what you need. Okay, so the second thing, which is a big item, is that I was contemplating this shower build. I'm going to be doing a curbless shower in here. The existing shower was 36 inches, and that was to the edge of the curb. And in this instance, I thought when I came into this bathroom that everything was up to code. I didn't really pay attention to how close that toilet was to the edge of this shower. And minimum code for a toilet is the center line of the toilet to any fixture has to be 15 inches or more. And there's a good reason for that, because if you had a wall at 15 inches, it gives you enough elbow room and there's enough room around it to actually use it. So in this instance, they had a shower curtain on here, so I didn't pay attention to the distance of the center of the toilet to the edge of the curb, and it was 12 inches. So if I put my sliding glass doors on here and I kept that toilet where it was located, it would have been 3 inches, it would have been 12 inches from that shower door, and you would have been sardined in there trying to use this, and it wouldn't have met code, and it definitely wouldn't have been comfortable. So what I end up having to do is put a 45-degree elbow on this, open up the floor, and move this flange. And I was able to move it over 5 more inches, so that worked out great. So now I'll have basically 16 inches from the center to my glass. So that worked out great. But again, was not expecting to have to do this. And luckily, the joist just kind of worked out the way it was. Now, that's not always going to be the case. The alternative was to make the shower smaller. So no one really wants to do that, and thank goodness we didn't have to do it in this one. Okay, so then number 3 is that there was a wire that came through to this outlet, and I wanted to put a recessed niche in this wall. And with a 2x4 wall, there's recessed niches. You can't, it's going to be flat up against this drywall. The depth of the recessed niches are 3.5 inches. So you can't even fish a wire behind there. And I thought that I would be easily able to just remove this wire out of this box and then reroute it up above, but the wire was short and there wasn't any slack in it. So luckily there is an outlet in the cabinet above the microwave. So this is an outlet for a microwave, and I was able to junction my wire that was connected to here and add on a new length to get to this. So I was able to reconfigure it. I got lucky here because this was existing in that cabinet. You'd never want to just bury a wire splice. You don't want to add on an extension or a box and not have access to it. The alternative would have been is to put an access piece up in the attic. That would have worked as well, since you do have attic access. So there would have been two ways I could have configured this, but I was not expecting to be having wires within this, but that worked out okay. So number 4, it kind of goes in line with the toilet because I was trying to pay attention to of my fixture distances. And in this bathroom, we are going to be doing a 36-inch vanity by 18 inches deep. That is a big vanity for a small bathroom, but we wanted to overcome the storage that we had above the toilet. The above cabinet is a valuable space for all that extra storage in this small bathroom, but we don't want that because it protrudes out into the room and makes it feel smaller. So we are putting a 36-inch cabinet in, and my original thought was that it was going to be a freestanding vanity, so that you would have like 6 or 7 inches on this side, and then you'd have your distance between the toilet. But it's not going to work out that way because we still need well, ideally, now that we have 16 inches to the shower, it would be ideal to have it 16 inches. 15 inches would have been, you know, the minimum code for the edge of the vanity. But we're just going to take this vanity and put it straight up against the wall. And so since it's 18 inches, it's going to come out into the middle of this doorway. That's going to look really terrible. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take out this jamb, and I'm going to take out one of these 2x4s to get the jamb all the way against the wall. And then I'm going to frame this in a little bit further so that you don't see the edge of that cabinet. The opening of this bathroom is 30 inches. You really don't need a 30-inch door coming into a smaller bathroom this size. So we're going to reduce this down to about a 27-inch opening. Doesn't really matter. We're going to be doing that barn door on the outside, so the opening size here really isn't going to be a big deal. So that was another way to overcome it, but we did have to move all of this plumbing over. With that said, the other unexpected item was that the way they had this plumbing run, the way they ran their copper plumbing, it was all on the outside of the wall. I think that was mainly because this 3-inch stack and then all the plumbing for both bathrooms, it just kind of became overwhelming. So they just ran everything on the outside. So we're going to have to keep it that way. It's not really the ideal situation to do it this way, mainly because I'm just more concerned about somebody putting a screw or something into this through the drywall. But really, I mean, 8 inches off the floor, I'm not really sure what you would be doing to put a screw in there. So you just have to pay attention to that when you're putting your cabinets and everything together. And then the 5th one was my recessed medicine cabinet. So we got a large medicine cabinet. It's going to be 30 inches wide. Did not realize there was a cabinet from the bathroom on the other side of this wall that is recessed as well. So that is not ideal. I'm going to end up just removing this one on the other side of the wall so that we can have our nice recessed medicine cabinet here. And then hopefully I'll be able to remodel the other side and make that nice as well. But that you know, I really had no idea until I opened up this wall. So all that being said, my main point is to remove all the drywall in your bathroom so that you can configure things to the way that you want it, and you can inspect all your plumbing and electric before you get started on your bathroom remodel. You always want to start out with a good foundation, and then you can build off of that.